Hello, in this video I'm going to be going through my Advent of Code 2023 Day 7 solution. So let's get into it. In this problem we're given a input of hands of cards, and so each hand consists of 5 cards, and each card is going to be one of these values, which is just the playing card values. And the relative strength of each card follows this order, where A is the highest and 2 is the lowest. Every card has one type, or every hand has one type, sorry. And that is 5 of a kind, where they're all the same, or 4. Full house is where 3 cards have the same label, and the remaining 2 share a label as well. 3 of a kind is just when there's 3 of the same label, but the other 2 don't share a label. And then 2 pair is where 2 cards share a label, and a 1 pair is where just 2 cards share one label. So 2 pair is where we could have 2, 2, 4, 4, 3. And because the 2 and the 4 both are a pair, 2, 2 is a pair and 4, 4 is a pair, that will be a 2 pair. And then high card is just where the labels are distinct, different values. So every full house is stronger than 3 of a kind, because it's just ranked higher here. But if 2 hands have the same type, then we need another ordering rule. So we compare the first card of each hand. If the cards are different, then the hand with the stronger first card is considered stronger, and if they're not the same though, we need to go through again. So then we'd go to the second card in the hand, and keep going through, and eventually we get a card that is higher than the other. So for example, for this 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, and 2 A are both 4 of a kind, but because 3 is greater than 2 here, it'll be ranked before it. So the same with this case, because there's an 8 here, that is stronger. So we're given this input, I'm going to copy it. And the first step is to put the hands in order of strength. So for this input, they've done that here. And because we can see these cases as well. So because we've got KK here, that's going to be ranked higher. So therefore, KT gets rank 2, KK gets rank 3 because it's ranked higher. And then finally, we need to calculate the total winnings, because in this input we have a value here, which is the hand's bid, basically. So we need to multiply the rank of the card. So if this is ranked first, that times that, and sum all of the hands. So we need to find what are the total winnings. So let's get into that. First, I'm going to paste my input in. And I've just got code here that's reading the input and then splitting it into lines. That's all I've done so far. And now what we can do is say we're going to have a map of cards to change the value of the special cards like King, Queen, because we want to order them alphabetically. So we can just say if this is greater or less, then we're going to order it in this order. So T is going to go to A, 10. And then we're going to have Jack is going to go to B. Q is going to be to C. King is going to be to D. And Ace is E. And these can be like any order really, or these values can be like any values as long as it's more alphabetically. So this could be C, and then F, and then G, then I, for example. But we don't need to do that. Now, once we've done that, we're just going to have a total counter. We're going to have the hands. We're going to say let hands. Then we're going to say for line of lines, let hand val, or the value equal line.split. I'm going to call this bid actually, because that's what it is. And we're just going to split by a space, because that's how all of these are separated. So we got our hand, we got our bid. Then what we can do is hands.push, hand, and bid is going to be parsint bid. And now we've done that, we can say we're going to sort them. So hands.sort, and we're going to have A and B, which is just the items that we're comparing. Then we're going to say let type A equal get card score A.hand. And we're going to do a similar thing for type B. So we're just getting the score of each card, and we need to implement this function as well. So I'm just going to put it up here, because we do actually use it for part 2 as well. And then what we're going to say is if the hands are not the same, then we just want to compare the values of those. So if type A is not equal to type B, which means we can determine if they are ranked higher based on the number of occurrences, we're just going to return type A minus type B. And otherwise, we're just going to say let mapped A equal A.hand.split by space dot map each card to map card, or just card if it isn't in the mapping, and then we're going to join again. We don't actually have a space here. So this gets the hand, splits it into cards, and for each card we map it. And otherwise, if it isn't in the map, so if it's just like the value 3, then we just have the value 3 here. Otherwise, because this will return undefined, so you can use this syntax. And then we just join it back again. So now we have a string with the mapped values, so we can then just do a string pair after we've just mapped B as well. So we just need to do the same thing basically. Here we go. And then we can say return mapped hand or mapped A dot local compare mapped B. And that is going to give us the hands in order. Then now all we need to do is implement this function and then calculate the value at the end. So to implement this function, we're just going to say let counts equals card.split. This should be card actually. No, should it? No, it should not. Hand equal hand.split. Yeah, sorry. That is a hand and not a card. So then we are saying, I should replace this as well. Get hand score. There we go. Dot map here, each character, and then we're just going to count the occurrences of the card and the char there. And we're just going to have this, count occurrences function, which takes in the card and the character that we're looking for. the hand, sorry, here. Hand and the character we're looking for, and then we're just going to go through let occurrences equals 0. Then we're just going to say for let item or character of hand. Actually, we got character there, so we're just going to say item. If item is equal to character, we're just going to do occurrences plus plus, and finally we just return occurrences. And we're counting the occurrences, so we're mapping them there, which means if we have 3 of the same values, we're going to get something like 3, 3, 3, and then 1, 1 probably. So then we can say if counts.includes includes 5 means all of the cards are going to be the same. So we're going to return the value 6, I believe. Else if counts.includes 4, we know there's 4 and 1 other. We're returning 5. Else if counts.includes 3. Now this case is slightly different because if there's 3 and a 2, we rank higher. So we're also going to say if counts.includes 2, then we're going to return 4. Otherwise, we're just going to return 3. And then else if counts.includes 2, then we're going to see if there's 2 pairs. So if there is, then we're going to return 1 or 2, sorry. If counts.filter L to L is 2, .length is 4. So we're saying if the number of cards which have card counts which have value 2 is 4, then we're going to return 2, which means there's just 2 pairs basically. Otherwise, we're going to return 1, and then we're just going to return 0 otherwise. So now we've done that, we should have the hands in order. And finally, the only thing that we need to do is sum the values. So we can say for let I equals 0, I is less than hands.length I plus plus. Then total plus equals hands I dot value or dot bid, sorry, times by I plus 1. Then finally we're going to console.log the total. If we run this, let's see what happens. We get 6440. I should actually just return total here. Let's try that. Yeah, here we go. Part 1, 6440. And if we look back at our prompt, that should be the answer that we get. So let's try it with the actual puzzle input. And if we go back into here, paste in this input and run it again, we get this string which ends in 9899. And here we have 9899, and that is the same string. So part 2 is slightly different. J cards are now the weakest because they're jokers, and they're even weaker than 2. The other cards are in the same order, but J cards can pretend to be whatever card is best for the purpose of determining the hand type. So Queen, J, Queen 2 can be 4 of a kind because the J can act as a queen. However, when we're breaking ties between 2 cards, it is just treated as a J. So the example here goes differently now, and it's ranked in a different order. But here we see with the new Joker rule, the winnings should be this, and we need to find the total winnings using this new rule. So we can use this function here still, get hand score, but we're going to have to do a few things differently. I'm just going to copy this into part 2. And what we're going to do is change the map value for j to a character which in ASCII is less than numbers. So at the moment, our letters are valued as more in ASCII than numbers, so we can't have a character like that. But what we can have is something like a full stop, a question mark, a punctuation mark of sorts. So I'm just going to do that, exclamation mark. Now what we can say is we're sorting them in a similar way, but we need to change a few things. So firstly, we need to say total is hands, and then we're doing this parsing in the same way. That's fine. Now we're doing hands.sort, type A, get hand score. So that needs to change slightly. So we're just going to say function get hand, or let's just say evaluate hand. Let's call it that. And then we're going to pass in the hand. You want to change these to be that. And we're going to be returning here the max score and the hand map, which I'll go into in a minute. Let's just do that now. Hand map is an array for each character of hand. Hand map is going to have map char, or if there isn't a value for that, it's just going to be char. And then we're going to say let max score equal number.infinity, or negative infinity, because it's a maximum that we're trying to get. And then we can say for let, we're going to go through the replacements and see which score is going to be higher. So we're going to just say let replacement equal be nothing for the moment, but we're just going to say for let replacement of replacements const score is going to be get the hand score. So we're just going to say get hand score replacement, sorry. And then if the score is greater than what we've already got, the max score, then we're going to change it. Max score equals score. And finally, we're going to be returning the max score and the hand map, which means here we need to change this slightly because type A can stay the same, but we also need cards A, because type A is the max score, and cards A is the mapping of the new cards. Okay, so we got that now. Now we can, this logic is the same, so that's fine. But if the cards have the same type, then we need to change this logic slightly. So we're just going to say, we can just say let joined A and let joined B be cards B dot join. So now we have the new mapped version as string cards A dot join as well. Now we've done that, we can return a local compare, just like this. Okay, that's all the sorting done, and we've got the evaluate hand, but we still need to do the replacements. So we're going to make that equal get replacements hand. And up here, I'm just going to say function get replacements for the hand. If the hand is nothing, because we're going to be doing this recursively, so we need this base case, return an empty array. And we're going to let the items or the possible replacements be an empty array. And then if hand 0 equals j, so if it's that case, then we're going to go through for let x of all the values here, 9, t, q, k, a. Then we're going to go through y values as well. Let y of get replacements. And this is where the recursive part comes in. We're going to do hand.slice 1. Then here we're going to do items.push x plus y. Otherwise, if it's not j, we're going to say for let y of get replacements hand.slice 1 items.push hand 0 plus y. Okay, so now we've got that, we can just return items. Okay, cool. Now, if we run this, let's see what happens. It's taking a while, but we get something ending with 8487, which if we look back here, that is the correct answer. So that's how I did Advent of Code 2023, day 7.